It's tangy, it's creamy, it's the hidden ingredient behind fluffy pancakes, tender fried chicken, and the flakiest biscuits you've ever tasted. But do you actually know what buttermilk is? Here's a mind-bender. Despite the name, buttermilk contains zero butter, and it wasn't always made the way it is today. In fact, the buttermilk in your fridge is the product of high-tech fermentation, biological precision, and a supply chain that starts with a cow and ends in your kitchen. Every bottle carries a story of transformation. And here's a fact that might surprise you. The bacteria in cultured buttermilk could actually be good for your gut, making it a functional food, not just a flavorful one. Stick with us to the end of this video, where we'll reveal a surprising secret about traditional buttermilk that most people have never heard, and how one factory is bringing it back in a bold, delicious way. From the farm to the factory, and maybe even back in time. Today, join Factory View to uncover the secret life of buttermilk. Step 1. The dairy farm, where it all begins. Before buttermilk becomes the creamy, tangy ingredient in your kitchen, it starts in a place that's both timeless and modern, the dairy farm. These cows are more than just livestock. They're the heart of the dairy process. Most modern dairy farms are built around a commitment to animal welfare, cleanliness, and efficiency. Cows are fed a carefully balanced diet rich in nutrients, designed to support milk production and maintain their health. Milking typically happens twice a day, once in the early morning and again in the late afternoon. Gone are the days of hand milking. Today, it's all done with precision technology. Automated milking parlors use suction-based systems that mimic the natural motion of a calf. Each cow is identified by a tag or collar with a chip that tracks her health, milk yield, and even her temperature. These smart systems ensure not only optimal milk quality, but also the well-being of each animal. The milk is immediately transferred through sanitized, closed-loop pipelines into chilled stainless steel tanks. Within seconds, it's cooled to below 4 degrees Celsius, 39 degrees Fahrenheit, to preserve freshness and prevent bacterial growth. From the farm, the milk doesn't wait around. Multiple times a day, insulated milk tankers arrive to transport this fresh milk to the processing plant, often located just a short drive away. This is where our buttermilk's journey begins, on a farm where tradition meets innovation, and every drop of milk is treated with care. Step 2. Transport to the factory, a cold chain in motion. Once the milk is chilled and stored on the farm, the clock starts ticking. To ensure freshness and food safety, it must reach the processing facility within a tightly controlled time frame, typically just a few hours. These refrigerated tankers are designed to preserve milk quality during transit. Built with thick, insulated walls and internal temperature controls, they maintain the milk at a steady 4 degrees Celsius or below. Before departure, each batch of milk is sampled and tested right at the farm. These preliminary tests screen for temperature, antibiotic residues, and visual purity, part of a rigorous quality assurance system. Once loaded and cleared, the tanker embarks on its journey. Whether it's traveling a few miles or across state lines, every moment matters. This is the cold chain, an uninterrupted refrigeration process from farm to factory that protects the milk from spoilage and ensures it arrives in peak condition. At the processing plant, the tanker undergoes a second round of inspections before the milk is accepted. Only once it passes detailed quality checks does the real transformation begin. Step 3. Quality testing and separation. As the milk tanker rolls through the factory gates, its journey enters a new phase, one defined by precision, science, and strict quality control. Before a single drop is unloaded, the milk is tested again, this time in a state-of-the-art lab inside the facility. Technicians take samples to verify the milk's temperature. The milk must pass stringent criteria. If anything is off, even slightly, the batch is rejected. This ensures that only the highest quality milk enters the production line. Once cleared, the milk is pumped into large, stainless steel holding silos. Here, it's ready for the first major transformation: separation. Using a centrifuge, the milk is rapidly spun to separate it into two parts: cream and skim milk. This spinning motion mimics what gravity would do over hours. The cream, rich in fat, will be used for other dairy products like butter or cream cheese. But the skim milk, the lean, protein-rich component, is what we need for buttermilk. The skim milk is now clean, fresh, and ready for the next critical step: pasteurization. But first, it's stored under chilled conditions, maintaining the perfect environment for what comes next. Step 4. Pasteurization, safety through heat. Before the transformation into buttermilk can begin, the skim milk must go through one of the most important steps in dairy processing: pasteurization. Pasteurization is the process of heating milk to a specific temperature for a short time to kill any harmful bacteria. This method, known as high-temperature short-time pasteurization, is fast, effective, and used around the world. Every second counts. The milk is then immediately cooled back down to around 4 degrees Celsius. This rapid cooling helps retain the milk's freshness and quality. Once pasteurized, the skim milk is stored in the sterile holding tanks under precise temperature control. It's now perfectly clean. Next comes the moment that gives buttermilk its identity: the introduction of beneficial bacteria through a controlled fermentation process. Step 5. Culturing the milk. Pasteurized and chilled, the skim milk is now ready for the heart of the buttermilk making process. This is where science meets flavor and where plain milk is transformed into the tangy delight we know as buttermilk. Special bacterial strains, like Lactococcus lactis and Leuconostoc cremoris, these microbes don't just acidify the milk, they develop its taste, texture, and aroma. The pasteurized milk is transferred into large fermentation tanks, sanitized stainless steel vessels equipped with temperature controls and gentle stirrers. The cultures are then introduced in carefully measured amounts. Temperature is critical. The milk is held steady at around 22 degrees Celsius or 72 degrees Fahrenheit, just warm enough for the bacteria to thrive, but cool enough to control their activity. Over the next 12 to 18 hours, the bacteria go to work, consuming lactose and producing lactic acid. This process gently lowers the pH of the milk, causing it to thicken and develop the signature tartness that defines cultured buttermilk. The transformation is quiet, invisible to the eye. By the time fermentation is complete, the once thin skim milk has become a rich, velvety liquid with a sharp yet smooth flavor. Step 6. Fermentation completion. Timing the tang. Inside the quiet walls of the fermentation room, time and temperature are everything. The carefully introduced cultures are now transforming the milk hour by hour. The milk is gently monitored for changes in pH, viscosity, and flavor. These are the signals that tell technicians the fermentation is reaching its peak. When the pH drops to around 4.5, just enough acidity to give buttermilk its characteristic tang, the process is stopped. Waiting any longer could make it overly sour or cause undesirable separation. The texture is now thick and silky, with a slightly custard-like consistency. With the fermentation perfectly timed, the process moves quickly to halt bacterial activity and stabilize the final product. Step 7. Cooling and homogenization. To preserve its taste and texture, the buttermilk is immediately cooled to around 4 degrees Celsius. This stops further fermentation and locks in the delicate balance of flavor. Next, the chilled buttermilk is sent through a homogenizer, a high-pressure system that breaks down any remaining fat molecules and evenly distributes them throughout the liquid. The result? A consistent, creamy texture that doesn't separate in the carton, smooth from the first pour to the last. This is the final refinement, the finishing touch that makes buttermilk shelf-ready and delicious. Step 8. Packaging, sealed for freshness. Now fully cultured, cooled, and homogenized, the buttermilk is ready for the final stage of its journey. From holding tanks, the buttermilk flows through sealed, stainless steel pipes straight into a high-speed filling line. This closed-loop system ensures zero exposure to air or contaminants. High-precision machines fill each container with exact volumes, down to the milliliter, then seal them immediately with tamper-evident caps or foil lids. Labels are applied in perfect sync, providing consumers with details like nutrition facts, ingredients, storage instructions, and, importantly, origin tracking. Every batch is assigned a unique code, allowing producers to trace each product back to the exact farm, day, and processing tank, a cornerstone of modern food safety. Once packaged, the buttermilk is packed into crates or boxes and moved into cold storage. Here it waits in chilled silence, ready for transport to markets, kitchens, and homes across the country. So the next time you pick up that carton at the store, remember, there's more than one kind of buttermilk. And sometimes to taste the future, you have to revisit the past. Before we wrap up, I'd like to know, what's your favorite way to enjoy buttermilk? Comment below the video, I'm curious to know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell for more food journeys, factory tours, and culinary stories. And just in case you have missed some of the older episodes, we have you covered. We have attached a special selection of past Factory View episodes to this video. So stay with us and enjoy more fascinating food discoveries. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.
Goat farming is one of the oldest forms of animal husbandry, dating back to ancient civilizations in the Middle East. Today, millions of goats provide the milk for countless varieties of cheese, making the goat dairy industry a global force. Goats are known for their unique personalities and intelligence. Unlike cows, goats are highly curious and thrive in small herds. They enjoy a diverse diet that includes grasses, herbs, and shrubs, contributing to the distinct qualities of the milk they produce. From fresh, soft cervée to robust aged varieties, goat cheese offers a wide range of flavors. With over 200 distinct types of goat cheese worldwide, each variety reflects the land, the goats, and the craftsmanship behind its creation. Join us on today's Food Factory Tour with Factory View and go behind the scenes to explore the journey of goat cheese. From the farm to the factory, where tradition and modern techniques combine to create one of the world's most cherished cheeses. But before we start, I'm curious to know, have you ever tried goat cheese before? And if so, what's your favorite? Comment below the video, and now, let's get started. Step number 1, raising and milking the goats. The journey of goat cheese begins long before the milk ever reaches the factory. It starts here, on the farm, with the goats themselves. Goats raised for dairy live in clean, well-managed environments. They're often allowed to roam in pastures during the day, grazing on grass, herbs, and hay. A healthy diet is essential, not just for the well-being of the animals, but for the quality of their milk. In addition to grazing, goats receive a carefully balanced diet rich in nutrients. This helps maintain their health, boost milk production, and ensure the milk is high in butterfat, perfect for making rich, creamy cheese. Goat farmers pay close attention to their animals. Regular health checkups, vaccinations, and clean living conditions are part of everyday care. Happy, healthy goats produce the best milk. Twice a day, usually in the morning and evening, the goats are gently guided into the milking parlor. Modern farms use automated milking systems that are efficient and comfortable for the animals. Each goat is fitted with a soft suction cup that mimics natural nursing. The machines collect the milk quickly and hygienically, sending it through cooled pipelines straight into refrigerated storage tanks. Many farms use smart technology to monitor each goat's milk output, track health indicators, and ensure consistency in milk quality. It's a blend of tradition and technology. Step number 2, transport and initial quality testing. Once the milk is collected and safely stored at the farm, it's time for the next crucial step, transport. The milk is carefully loaded into refrigerated tanker trucks designed to keep it at the optimal temperature during its journey to the cheese factory. During transport, the milk must remain at a cool, consistent temperature to prevent any spoilage or bacterial growth. These tankers are equipped with temperature controls, ensuring the milk stays fresh and ready for processing. Upon arrival at the factory, the milk is unloaded into a specialized receiving area. Here it undergoes a series of quality tests to ensure it meets the high standards required for cheese production. First, samples of the milk are taken for laboratory analysis. Technicians check for factors like fat content, pH levels, and protein composition. These tests help determine whether the milk is suitable for cheese making and also ensure consistency from batch to batch. Next, the milk is examined for any contaminants or impurities, including antibiotics or off flavors. If anything is found that doesn't meet the stringent quality guidelines, the milk is rejected, ensuring that only the finest ingredients make their way into the cheese production process. Step number 3, pasteurization. With the milk approved for use, it's time to begin the transformation process. The first major step in the factory for most goat cheese is pasteurization, a critical food safety procedure. Pasteurization involves heating the milk to a specific temperature for a set period of time. For goat cheese, this typically means heating it to around 72 degrees Celsius or 161 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 seconds. This rapid heating kills any harmful bacteria or pathogens that might be present in raw milk, such as Listeria, E. coli, or Salmonella, without significantly affecting the milk's flavor or nutritional value. After reaching the target temperature, the milk is immediately cooled back down to prevent over-processing. This quick heating and cooling cycle helps maintain the milk's integrity while ensuring it's safe for consumption. Some artisan goat cheeses may use raw milk, but in factory settings, especially for mass production, pasteurization is the standard, meeting strict regulatory requirements for food safety. Step 4. Curdling. The next stage is coagulation, the process that transforms liquid milk into a soft gel-like mass that can be cut into curds. To start, a coagulant is added to the milk. Most commonly, this is rennet, a natural enzyme traditionally derived from the stomach lining of young ruminants, though microbial or vegetable-based alternatives are often used in modern production. The rennet causes casein proteins in the milk to bond together, trapping fat and water in a network that gradually thickens. Within 30 to 60 minutes, the milk firms up into what's called a curd, a smooth custard-like consistency. During this time, the milk must remain undisturbed. Movement could disrupt the delicate matrix forming within the vat, leading to inconsistent curds and poor yield. Step number 5, cutting and stirring the curds. Now that the milk has coagulated into a firm curd, the next step is to separate it from the liquid whey, a critical stage that shapes the cheese's texture and moisture content. Using long stainless steel knives or wire cutters, the curd is carefully sliced into uniform cubes. The size of these cubes matters. A finer cut releases more whey and creates a firmer cheese, while a larger cut retains more moisture for a softer texture. Once cut, the curds are gently stirred. This helps the whey continue to drain from the curds and begins to firm them up. At the same time, the mixture is slowly heated to encourage further whey separation and to toughen the curds slightly. Throughout this step, temperature and stirring speed are closely controlled. Too much agitation can break the curds, while too little can lead to uneven texture. Precision here ensures consistency and quality in the final product. As the curds shrink and become more solid, the vat begins to fill with more and more whey, the pale yellow liquid that separates naturally from the solids. Step number 6, draining the whey. While the curds fully develop and the whey clearly separated, it's time to drain away the excess liquid, leaving behind the rich protein-packed solids that will become goat cheese. The curd and whey mixture is either poured into large drainage tables or scooped into fine mesh cheesecloths or perforated molds. Gravity does much of the work here, slowly pulling the whey down and out while the curds begin to compact. In some factories, light pressure is applied to speed up drainage, helping to expel more whey and shape the cheese into its final form. This might involve stacking weighted molds or using mechanical presses, each method tailored to the cheese's desired texture. Fresh goat cheese varieties like Chèvre require only minimal draining, preserving their soft, spreadable texture. But for firmer aged cheeses, more whey is removed to reduce moisture content and prepare the curds for pressing and aging. During this stage, the curds continue to acidify naturally, developing the tangy, slightly sharp flavor goat cheese is known for. The duration of draining can vary from a few hours to overnight, depending on the recipe. Step number 7, salting and shaping. With the whey drained and the curds firmed up, it's time to add the magic touch, salt. But this isn't just about flavor. It's a crucial step that affects texture, preservation, and even the final aroma of the cheese. Salt can be applied in a few different ways. For fresh cheeses, it's often sprinkled directly onto the curds by hand, gently worked in to ensure even distribution. In other cases, especially for firmer or aged cheeses, the formed wheels or logs may be submerged in a brine bath for several hours or even days. This salting process draws out additional moisture, firms up the curds, and slows down microbial activity. Key for safe aging and consistent flavor development. Once salted, the curds are shaped into their final form. This might be the familiar log or disc of the fresh Chèvre, or a compact wheel destined for aging. The cheese is either hand-molded or placed into forms that guide the structure, creating those signature ridges, dimples, or patterns you see on artisanal goat cheeses. Even at this stage, no two batches are exactly alike. Factors like humidity, temperature, and even the cheesemaker's touch can subtly shape the outcome. Step number 8, aging. For many goat cheeses, time is the secret ingredient. While fresh cheeses are ready almost immediately, others are set aside to age, a process that brings out deeper flavors, complex aromas, and unique textures. Aging takes place in specially designed rooms where temperature and humidity are carefully controlled. Typically kept cool and slightly humid, these environments allow the cheese to mature slowly and evenly. Over days, weeks, or even months, the cheese undergoes a series of natural changes. Moisture continues to evaporate, intensifying flavor and creating a firmer, more crumbly texture. At the same time, beneficial molds and bacteria on the rind help shape the cheese's character. Some goat cheeses are coated with edible ash or herbs before aging, helping to balance acidity and develop a delicate outer rind. Others are left plain to form a natural bloomy surface, or washed periodically to encourage specific microbial growth. Throughout the aging process, cheesemakers regularly inspect each batch, flipping wheels, checking for even ripening, and adjusting conditions as needed. It's a delicate balance of science and craftsmanship. Step number 9, packaging. After days or sometimes months of careful preparation, the goat cheese is finally ready for packaging. This final stage is all about protecting the product, preserving freshness, and preparing it for the consumer. Every package is labeled with key information: product name, weight, nutritional facts, ingredients, expiration date, and often the batch number for traceability. Some brands even include tasting notes or pairing suggestions. Once sealed and labeled, the cheese is packed into boxes and stored in refrigeration, ready for distribution. From here, it's a short journey to grocery stores, specialty shops, and dining tables around the world. And that's the journey: farm to factory, vat to package, warehouse to your kitchen. Behind every bite of goat cheese is a story of craftsmanship, care, and tradition carried out on a modern scale. If you enjoyed this behind-the-scenes look at how goat cheese is made, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell for more food journeys, factory tours, and culinary stories. And just in case you have missed some of our older episodes, we have you covered. We've attached a special selection of past factory review episodes to this video, so stay with us and enjoy more fascinating food discoveries. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode. Coleslaw, a dish as timeless as the summer barbecue and as versatile as the vegetables it's made from. But where did this crunchy, tangy salad really come from? The origins of coleslaw date back to ancient Rome, where shredded cabbage was mixed with vinegar, eggs, and various seasonings, long before mayonnaise was ever a household staple. However, it was in the Netherlands during the 18th century that coleslaw became to resemble what we know today, with a creamy dressing made from eggs, oil, and vinegar. By the time coleslaw made its way to America, it was embraced as a side dish that could be served with anything from fried chicken to hot dogs. Over the years, regional variations sprouted up, with different dressings, added ingredients like carrots or onions, and unique preparation methods. In today's world, coleslaw is a favorite in homes, restaurants, and grocery stores alike. But how does it go from fresh cabbage to the mass-produced product we find in our supermarket deli sections? In this video, we'll show you the journey of coleslaw, from the farm fields to the factory floor. With a blend of tradition and technology, we'll explore how millions of servings of this classic dish are made with speed, consistency, and just the right balance of flavor. But before we start, I have a question for you. Do you usually make your own coleslaw at home? Or do you prefer buying it at your grocery store? Comment below the video. I'm curious to know. And now, let's get started. Step number 1, farming the cabbage. Before coleslaw ever hits a mixing vat, it starts life in the soil, on vast farms that specialize in growing one of the world's most versatile vegetables, cabbage. Cabbage is a cool weather crop, meaning it thrives in regions with mild temperatures and fertile, well-drained soil. Many large-scale farms grow cabbage in rotation with other crops like lettuce or carrots to maintain soil health and reduce pests. The process begins with preparing the land, tilling the soil to loosen it, adding compost or organic matter for nutrients, and sometimes laying down drip irrigation systems to regulate moisture. Precision farming equipment is used to plant thousands of cabbage seedlings in perfectly spaced rows to ensure optimal growth. Over the next 10 to 14 weeks, these seedlings grow into large, tightly packed heads. Farmers monitor them constantly, using data from sensors, weather forecasts, and even drones to optimize water and nutrient use. Pest control is another key factor. Some farms use integrated pest management, introducing beneficial insects or using crop covers to reduce resilience on pesticides. Step number 2, harvesting. When the heads are firm and reach the right size, typically 2 to 4 pounds each, it's time for harvest. But timing is crucial. If you harvest too early, the heads won't be dense enough. Too late, and they may crack or spoil. On some farms, mechanical harvesters are used. Large machines that cut the cabbage at the base and use rotating arms or conveyor belts to lift and sort the heads into bins. These machines are fast, capable of handling acres of cabbage in a single day, but they also require skilled operators and carefully calibrated settings to avoid damaging the produce. In premium or specialty markets, however, hand harvesting is still the gold standard. Workers with sharp knives move row by row, slicing each head at its stem, trimming away the excess leaves, and inspecting each one for quality on the spot. Once harvested, the cabbage is immediately packed into crates or containers and quickly transported to the factory, often in refrigerated trucks. Step number 3, receiving and inspection. As the freshly harvested cabbage arrives at the factory, the next step begins, receiving and inspection. Every truckload of cabbage is logged and recorded, often with details about the farm it came from, the harvest date, and the crop variety. This traceability is crucial, not just for quality assurance, but for food safety compliance and recall readiness, if ever needed. Once unloaded, the cabbage heads go through a quick visual inspection right at the receiving dock. Workers check for any obvious signs of damage, like bruising, cracking, rot, or insect activity. Anything that doesn't meet basic standards is rejected on the spot or set aside for composting or livestock feed. The cabbage is then weighed and sorted by batch. High-volume operations rely on automated conveyor systems and computer vision scanners to help streamline this process. Throughout receiving, temperature control is key. Many factories use cooled receiving areas to keep the cabbage fresh, especially during warm months. The sooner the cabbage is processed after harvest, the better its texture, moisture, and flavor will be in the final product. Only after passing this first round of checks does the cabbage move deeper into the plant, toward the washing and prepping lines where its transformation into coleslaw truly begins. Step number 4, washing. Industrial washing is a multi-step process designed to remove every trace of debris while keeping the cabbage crisp and undamaged. The heads are first placed on conveyor belts that carry them through a series of powerful water jets. These high-pressure sprays blast away surface soil and loose leaves. Then the cabbage moves into large stainless steel wash tanks, where it's fully submerged and agitated. The cabbage is now ready for its transformation into the fine, crunchy ribbons we recognize in every bite of coleslaw. Step number 5, shredding. First, the cabbage heads are cut down to size, either halved or quartered, so they can fit into the shredding machines. These precision blades are incredibly sharp and fast, spinning at high speeds to slice the cabbage into long, thin ribbons. The goal is consistency. Every strand needs to be the same width and thickness for even mixing and a perfect bite. The exact thickness is calibrated depending on the product. Some coleslaw mixes are ultra fine and delicate, while others are more rustic and chunky. Settings can be adjusted on the fly, and operators monitor the process constantly to ensure nothing goes off spec. In most factories, this is also the stage where other vegetables are added. Bright orange carrots are fed into separate shredders and blended in with the cabbage, adding color, crunch, and natural sweetness. Some mixes also include red cabbage or even onions, depending on the recipe. All of this is done in a continuous high-speed flow. Conveyor belts move the shredded vegetables forward immediately after cutting, minimizing handling and preserving that just-cut freshness. Automated sensors may spot check for size, color balance, or foreign objects, flagging anything that doesn't meet strict standards. Within just minutes, whole cabbage heads have been turned into a mountain of vibrant, uniform shreds, ready for their creamy transformation into the mixing vats up next. Now that the cabbage and any other added vegetables are perfectly shredded, it's time for the next crucial step, preparing the dressing. In the coleslaw world, the dressing is what brings everything together. It's where the flavors shine and the texture gets that creamy, satisfying finish. The dressing ingredients are carefully measured and mixed in massive industrial mixers. The base is usually mayonnaise or another creamy dressing, but some recipes add a tangy kick with vinegar or lemon juice, with some factories adding secret spices like celery seed or pepper to give their coleslaw a unique twist. The ingredients are poured into large mixing tanks where they are blended to create a smooth, consistent texture. The mixing process ensures that no clumps or even textures remain in the dressing. For some coleslaw brands, the dressing may even be chilled before mixing to maintain the right consistency. Once the dressing is ready, it's time to combine it, but before that, some factories may test a small batch of dressing to ensure the flavor is just right. A little taste test to guarantee quality control. Step number 7, mixing. The shredded vegetables are loaded into large industrial mixers. Dressing is poured in, and the machines gently toss everything until the mix is smooth, creamy, and evenly coated. It's fast, efficient, and designed to preserve the fresh crunch of the cabbage. Step number 8, quality control. Before packaging, each batch goes through strict quality control. Trained staff check taste, texture, and consistency. If something's off, it's corrected, or the batch is discarded. Some factories also do lab testing for food safety. Only the best product makes it to the final stage. Step number 9, packaging. The coleslaw is portioned and sealed into containers using automated fillers. Each container is labeled with nutritional information, batch codes, and expiration dates. Then it's boxed up and prepped for delivery, all while being kept cold. Step number 10, cold storage and distribution. Once packaged, the coleslaw heads to cold storage. There it waits just briefly before being loaded into refrigerated trucks and shipped to grocery stores, restaurants, and delis, ready to be served fresh. From farm to factory, it's a journey of precision, freshness, and flavor. What starts as a humble cabbage in the fields becomes the creamy, crunchy side dish we all know and love, thanks to a finely tuned process that blends tradition with technology. That's how coleslaw is made. If you love this behind-the-scenes look, hit that like button and subscribe. And just in case you have missed some of the older episodes, we have you covered. We have attached a special selection of past Factory Review episodes to this video. So stay with us and enjoy more fascinating food discoveries. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.